To celebrate the release of the newest installment of the Super Smash Bros. Franchise, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, we will be doing a full series of episodes giving you the rundown on how these Nintendo stars came to be in the creative marvel that is Smash. Please note that these characters are being explored in the order that they appeared on the roster in their first appearance of the series, not when they were first released in their respective series. Without further ado, let's get into the facts. I'm Genocide13, and this is Smash History. Prologue. It was the summer of 1981 and arcade gaming was at an all-time high. Games like Pac-Man, Space Invaders, and Asteroids were swallowing quarters and causing rage quits unlike anything the world has seen thus far. Then the new kid stepped on the scene, Donkey Kong. It had a simple premise. Your girlfriend was kidnapped by your giant pet ape, and it was your duty as Jumpman to rescue your damsel in distress by avoiding and destroying hazards that stood in your way. What nobody could have predicted was that such a straightforward concept would shape platform gaming as we know it today, and in the process create one of the most beloved and well-known characters to ever bless the home console. Yes, I'm talking about the one and only Super Mario. Conception. It was the early 80s, and a young Shigeru Miyamoto was tasked with bringing a multitude of unsold arcade machines to market, as well as come up with a fresh new idea to replace the software. Initially, his idea was planned to have been a Popeye the Sailor game to better appeal to the American masses and boost sales. However, these plans fell through due to licensing issues, where Nintendo couldn't obtain the rights to the characters. But the story doesn't end here. Though the characters from this show were unobtainable for use in the software, inspiration was still drawn from them. The character Jumpman was based on Popeye himself, being a prime image of masculinity, albeit a cartoonish one, and was the protagonist in this adventure. His enemy was once a friend of his, a giant ape named Donkey Kong. Now you're probably wondering why a giant gorilla would have such a name. Well, Mr. Miyamoto was cited to have drawn the name from the gorilla being stubborn, like a donkey. And then there was Pauline, Jumpman's alleged lover and victim of the aggressive ape. Donkey Kong was very much jealous of his owner and sought her affection for himself. So what else to do but kidnap her and bring her to the top of a construction site? That's sure to win over any girl you fall for. As you can probably tell, Mr. Jumpman had his hands full with a presumptuous pet and lonesome lover. Unfortunately, his troubles didn't end there, and Nintendo was smacked with a lawsuit from Universal City Studios, now Universal Studios, with the claim that Donkey Kong was a direct rip from their 1976 movie King Kong. It made sense. Giant gorilla terrorized civilians atop a skyscraper. Seems fairly much like the game they're claiming to have plagiarized their work. 1982 brought a harrowing couple of years to Nintendo, with the threat of their hit game being stripped away from them and having to start again from scratch. There are many similarities to the content presented, and Universal appealed the initial verdict, but ultimately in 1984 the decision was made that Donkey Kong did not violate any copyrights, and Jumpman was free to jump another day. Little did he know, this was just the start of a long climb to digital immortality, and the eventual inclusion in one of the most beloved fighting games of all time. Rise to stardom. The critically acclaimed Donkey Kong had earned its place in gaming history, but even though its success was great, it was relatively short-lived. In 1983, the gaming industry took a sharp downturn, where arcades began losing popularity and home consoles and computers were on the rise. The gaming crash of 1983 was credited to a large influx of home gaming consoles oversaturating the North American market. Namely the multiple Atari consoles, ColecoVision, as well as the Intellivision to list a few. In a last-ditch effort to combat the ever-apparent death of gaming, Nintendo released their first ever home console outside of Japan. 2 years after its initial release, known as a Famicom in Japan, Nintendo launched the Nintendo Entertainment System to the States on October 18, 1985. At the time, it was a technological marvel for gaming, showcasing 8-bit graphics in a compact, semi-portable system, marking the start of the third generation of console gaming. There were 17 launch titles with this console, among those being Duck Hunt, Excitebike, and Gyromite. Just a month prior to the NES's US launch, Super Mario Bros. Was released on September 13, 1985, and although it was previously only accessible to those who lived in Japan, the game's popularity skyrocketed after the release of the NES. In Mario's latest adventure, he is in pursuit of Bowser, a giant turtle with a spiked shell, who captured Princess Toadstool, monarch of the Mushroom Kingdom. In this game, Mario must traverse 8 worlds filled with various enemies such as flying turtles and unrealistically large bullets. For each world completed and boss defeated, you inch closer and closer to the princess. Super Mario Bros. Was and continues to be one of the most iconic and popular games of its generation, and up until 2008 was the best-selling video game of all time. Since then, Mario has appeared in over 200 games and starred in most of them. I could go into detail about every single appearance, but that would be incredibly time consuming, so for now I'm only covering his most iconic installation in the franchise. Inclusion in Smash. At the time of Super Smash Bros. 64's release, Mario had very much earned his place among the ranks of the Smash cast. The pasta-loving plumber had naturally been selected to be among the 8 original fighters for the first installment of the series. Mario's neutral A combo was first introduced in Super Mario 64 as its basic attack. In fact, a good portion of Mario's abilities first appeared in Super Mario 64. His down smash is very much like his leg sweep attack from Super Mario 64. The dash attack was a move he had in Super Mario 64 and remains his dash attack after 19 years. His back throw is the same throw he uses on Bowser in Super Mario 64, and his forward throw is a shortened version of the same move. Those throws remain the same since Smash 64. His backward jump is his backflip from Super Mario 64 as well. Mario's neutral special is reminiscent of the Fire Flower used in Super Mario Bros. And other games. However, there is a Fire Flower item, and it doesn't function the same as the ability. Nevertheless, Mario has exhibited his ability to use fire attacks without a Fire Flower in Super Mario RPG prior to his inclusion in Smash. Then there is his up special, the Super Jump Punch. This move originated from the game that built his platform, Super Mario Bros. And while it does not actually deal damage, his jump from neutral is very similar to the source material. Many people believe that in Super Mario Bros., Mario used his head to break blocks, but this is not the case. He's actually jumping with his fist in the air to punch obstacles above him. He retains this ability not only in Super Smash Bros., but in just about every other game he appears in. Mario's down special has changed since he first came to Smash. Initially, it was a spinning attack similar to his spin jump in Super Mario World. It has since evolved to be his companion Flood from Super Mario Sunshine, whereas the spin jump became his down aerial from that point on. Super Smash Bros. 64 did not have side specials, but from melee forward, Mario uses the cape from his Cape Feather ability in Super Mario World. And as for his final smash, it originated from his appearance in Super Mario RPG in the form of his Ultra Flame attack. As you can see, a lot of Mario's abilities stay true to his character, and they transition well into his kit in Smash, being one of the easiest characters for newcomers to learn and master, a fitting role considering a good portion of players grew up playing his games. Epilogue. Mario is a man of many talents, careers, and virtues. He is incredibly persistent, fearless, and very much a hero. To be the official mascot of Nintendo is a badge of honor that he wears proudly through every single appearance of his, and it's evident in his character. Super Mario will forever be the single most recognizable video game character, and with that he has earned his place on the Wall of Fame in Smash history.